Okay, today's project is fans on the roof of the KRX, and I'm going to use these clamps, I guess I'd call them bar clamps or bar mounts, one on each end, front and back. Had to do unlatch the roof. I'm going to have to heat and mold the roof back to these clamps to get it to come down, because it just won't fit otherwise, and that'll be fine. I don't mind doing that. Alright, I decided to go with a 14-inch fan. Bigger is better, right? So I've cut the hole out in a piece of 3/8 plywood. That's what I'm going to use as the substrate. Got a variable controller, motor controller. Here's the units. These are off Amazon. I'll put links in, of course. The potentiometer is not going to fit through the plywood, so I'm going to cut out a hole and use a piece of plexiglass to create a substrate for that to plug in through. The only downside to this power controller is it's got a switch, directional switch, but it's soldered on, so you can't fit it through a hole. So I mean, they're gonna have to cut and splice the wires. It's just 2 wires because these are free, but that's kind of disappointing. But we can work around it. Anyway, so we'll start assembling. So I'm going to use a piece of aluminum angle on the edges to reinforce the plywood. Haven't cut them yet, but they're measured and ready to cut. You'll notice there's quite a taper, or maybe you can't notice it, but the front of the cage is much narrower. I think it's about 3 inches narrower than the back mount point, so you have to taper that. And of course cut these to the proper lengths accordingly. So we'll get to the work. Alright, I've used a reciprocating saw, or whatever they call these, to cut out the openings for my switch in the panel. Used a file to clean those up, and a little bit of Dremel to help open them to the right amount. Got the holes drilled for the switch. I should say holes for the potentiometer. So that'll go through the holes there. Got holes drilled to mount it on the main plate and test fit it. So I'm going to attach those now, and I think I'll be ready to paint it. Alright, just to coat a primer on there, and we'll put some green on. I'm just running battery, ignition, and ground up through frame tube. I pulled these wires through blank or uncovered, and then I'll put some looming on here as it is exposed, and it'll come up and go around the top of the board there, and then over to the fans. Okay, we got a little bit of green, and the first switch is in, and now I'm mounting up the fans. Get some screw bolts for that, and get it put together. Okay, I think I got the wiring about done. I'll explain it here. So I've got a relay to bring battery and ignition to energize the relay, and then 2 speed controllers with their switch and potentiometers, all wired to the back. So this will be on the roof side, and then a couple cable guides to keep the wires in check, and that's about it. So that's the back side. Alright, I've got my power coming in, ignition, ground, and battery going through the frame. Got the loom on. Now I'm ready to mount the fans. Sorry about the noise. My evap in the shop is running full blast. Alright, this is the wiring up above the fan and all that, so I don't think I'm going to do any more securing than that for now. Okay, I got the power wired into my terminal block. I've got a ground, ignition, and battery section. Makes it pretty easy. Time to button it back up. I tested it and it works, but we'll give one more demo. Okay, I think it's about done. This is the setup. Individual switch and speed control. It has to have ignition on. There's a relay up there that switches battery power to the fans, and then a directional switch and speed control. I've got the clamps with aluminum reinforcement on the ends. So we'll give it a shot. There we go. These are 14-inch fans. I'll put a overall cost in the notes. I don't remember what it is right now, but I'm pretty happy with it. Last thing I need to do is heat up the ceiling, because right now it hits these mounts. I haven't tried, but I don't think I can get those clamps on. Well, this is the final look. You can see where I had to heat that up to relieve that. Actually, it's actually the bolt head that's on the back side of the mount, which can't quite see very well, but anyway, that's what that is. So just a little bit of a relief for the clamps. Not bad, but anyway, turned out good. I'm happy with it. So thanks for watching.